Welcome to GR86 Performance. Today we're going to be doing an oil change to Toyota specification. So we're going to be using 020 APISP GF6A as the rating. 020 is the weight that I use simply because I'm not tracking the vehicle just yet. I want to get some quality oil that meets those specifications. Next I have a GR oil filter, part number MS500-18002. Actually 0002, but if you want to buy it yourself, there's the part for you. First things first, you want to get underneath the vehicle. You got your jack point right here. I'm going to touch the spot where the two dots are. That's where you want to jack up the vehicle with a nice soft pad. Then on both sides, you're going to have your jack stand mounts right there. Obviously, I use little rubber bushings to keep everything safe. But you're going to have your 3 bolts here on this little small pan. You want to remove them. And you can do what I do and just completely remove the tray. Super simple to do. But if you want to leave the tray up there, you can take off the back 2 bolts towards the back of the engine, and this front one you can spin the tray around this way and just leave it like that. It's perfect. You can leave the tray up. But you have your drain plug right there. It's going to be visible, and you just want to undo it, get all that oil out. Careful, it's going to be hot, so you should be draining your oil when it's at least slightly warm. As far as the plug, mine's an aftermarket plug with a magnet on there. I stamped at 31 foot-pounds, so I know what the torque is. By the way, that's the official spec. So for these, you want to clean it off. You don't want any oil leaking or seeping down the threads. So I'm a bit obsessive. I'm going to clean this thing off. I have a little bit of thread sealant left over from last time. I'm going to clean that stuff off. Again, spray it with some brake clean, get all of it out. And then what we're going to be doing is we're going to find the proper washer. So you can get an aluminum crush washer. You can use copper if you like. But I have the size here for you, 16 by 22 by 1.5. Then I douse it with a little bit of thread sealant. Now what this does is it seals the threads. This is not a thread locker. This is simply a thread sealer. So if any oil decides to try to sneak past the threads, past everything, the thread sealer is going to stop it in the tracks. Theoretically, you could probably go without a crush washer, but I would always use one just so you can torque everything properly. But this is what actually stops the oil from going down your threads. So at that point, the plug is ready. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to take off the oil filter itself. It should have completely drained by this point. So we're going to get it off. As you can see, there's no oil coming out. We're going to clean out the tray itself, make sure that is perfectly clean. Then we have our GR oil filter. You can use whatever you want. I like using this high-end filter, good stuff. These filters, fun fact, they come pre-lubed. The gasket right there already has a little bit of silicone grease on it. It's perfect. Now it's telling you after it bottoms out, you want to go an additional 3/4 of a turn. So I'm going to show you for those that don't know what that looks like. As you can see, I'm spinning it on finger tight. Now as soon as it bottoms out, like right there, I'm just going to show a little arrow so you know exactly what 3/4 turn means. And right there, I'm just starting off pointing at the bottom. That's 1/4. That's 1/2 of a turn, and you're going to keep going to 3/4 of a turn. And you're like, wow, that must be a lot of pressure, but that's what it requires, is 3/4, and there you go. Now you know what it looks like. I got my filter ready. I mean my little oil sticker ready. At this point, it's completely stopped the dripping. We're going to tighten that up. We're going to get a torque wrench after we clean everything off and torque this puppy to 31 foot-pounds. There we go. It's perfectly done. Clean everything off. At this point, we can put the little tray back on with those 3 bolts. Use a little bit of the little warranty seal on there, and those 3 little bolts, they go on at 4.7 foot-pounds, or just honestly just barely hand tight, and you're going to be solid. You don't need much torque on these. 4.7 foot-pounds. Lastly, we're going to be ready for filling the oil itself. Take off the oil fill cap, and you can use one of these funnels that just spins on there. It doesn't matter what brand you buy or whatever funnel. I like these because it doesn't spill anything when you're pouring. You don't have to worry about holding the funnel and pouring. As you can see, the funnel is very stable because it's screwed into the threads. It takes exactly 5 liters of oil. Take that off, don't spill anything, so you know if you do spring a leak at some point. But clean off the cap itself, make sure it doesn't have any dirt or debris in there. Spin the cap back on, and as far as mechanically, it's technically all done. But at this point, we're going to start up the car. Personally, I let it idle for around 30 seconds. At that point, I know all the oil is circulated throughout the entire system. We don't have a low oil warning light, and honestly just check the level at this point. It should be between the 2 dots. You should wait 1 to 2 minutes after you shut the engine off to check this. I waited about 2 minutes. As here you can see on one side it shows a little lower, the other side's a little higher, but honestly it's perfect. Everything's perfectly done and the oil change is complete. I hope you learned something today. If you like this kind of videos, you like performance stuff, consider subscribing to the channel. I'll link the oil filter and stuff down below, and I hope you learned something. Have a nice day. Thank you.